I think it's a combination of just drive, proving the world wrong, loving music, passionate for artists, not wanting bands that I work with to ever have to go through the worst of the worst for me. For example, when at one of those, 2-year periods of working retail, from my metal band being dropped and before I kind of, really conceptualized Goldfinger, I was selling shoes, and it was like while I was there, I saw, I got offered a record deal, publishing/record deal that was arguably the worst deal I've ever seen, ever in my life, from any band I've ever worked with. And I was like working $5 an hour, record deal, advance, $10,000 advance for making the record, for publishing, for life. I'm taking $10,000. That's like, how, that's a shit ton of money when you're making $5 an hour. And so every Goldfinger song is now owned by this guy that I never talked to, that I can't do anything ever with. And I never want to see that happen to bands. So that's part of it as well. Why I think the music business is shrinking, obviously. And I know pretty much everyone there is to kind of know that's still involved with whatever we do. And life is short. I want to be with good people. I want to be a good person to those bands. I wish when I find a band that's, in their early 20s, they had someone, that I had someone like me to say, this is what you don't want to do, and this is why you want to do it this way. I mean, I think I've always been crazy driven, which a lot of artists that I work with now, after, producing, I guess, I don't know if it's 50, 60 records I've made in my career, that I haven't really seen the drive. It happens, it doesn't happen as often as you would think. And I mean, I don't know, my dad told me I couldn't do it, so I'm sure when I was a kid there was part of that to prove him wrong, and there was like, I knew that music, of course, saved my life, like any kid that struggles with school and authority and parents and drugs and the whole kind of growing up and becoming your own guy. So it's probably a number of things that has allowed me to sustain a career. If you're the new Trent Reznor, if you're the, I mean, obviously Skrillex is the new Trent Reznor. I mean, if you're, clearly that guy and that talented, it is much easier now. But if you're just average, if you're just an average band, it's impossible. It will not happen. So it's like, I mean, if you really know, anyone can make a record sound, really like good, like, oh wow, vocals are in tune, compression, pumping, like all that stuff, that can happen pretty easily now. But to really like make something happen, I mean, you need to really have the whatever architect that designed life, you have to have that talent in you that's undeniable, and the drive to really like make it happen. You have to do it yourself to a certain extent. If you want to do your own art on your own terms, you have to prove it first. And bands still think that like there's someone like me who's going to step in, here's a big check, and it just doesn't happen. That's not how it happens now.